So hello everyone, I'm Tofu, welcome back to Californee, my Western desert themed island, and today we're doing a build video. So let's run over to the area that we're building in and start on the saloon, shall we? So we're actually going to be continuing from the previous build that I've done, the entrance build, so this is where it obviously ended. I have done a little bit off camera, so I've done this little bit here, and the little train track leading up to these two caves and things. So it is going to be a mining town, so there's going to be plenty of this kind of thing going around. But yeah, I've done this big loop here with the pathing. Obviously there's a few codes, so you've seen the snake on the floor as well, so I do intend to use those. But yeah, this is going to be our saloon area, and this is just going to be just set dressing. Any codes I have used will obviously be in the description below, so if you do want to check out any of the creators, then feel free, and I highly recommend it because they are some talented peoples. But yeah, we're firstly going to move on to the saloon here, and then we're going to be building the area around it. So let's do that. I've got plenty of panels and short panels, so I might need to just jig these around a little bit because I want to have it in a very specific space. Because obviously I want the saloon sign to be kind of covered so you don't see the top and bottom half, because obviously when it comes to the panels, it shows both the top and the bottom being the same design. My alarm just went off, so sorry about that. But there you obviously can see the window kind of showing on both top and bottom of the panel, whereas here I don't necessarily want to see that, so we do that and obviously cover it up with these these smaller panels. Right, I am going to push these smaller ones forward and just make sure they are in the right place. So for anyone that was watching my videos previously, I did end up getting sick, and I ended up getting the horrible and nasty cold from Mumsy, and I have actually spent the week off of work. So yeah, that was fun. I was looking after the little one, so she didn't go to the usual like daycare. Mumsy still did end up going to work. I guess she recovered enough that, you know, she could go to work. So yeah, she's better. I guess I'm feeling a lot better than I was. But yeah, the reason why I've not really done anything this week until the very end is just my throat's been horrendous. I've been coughing and spluttering. It's not been a good time, you know, like all kind of illnesses aren't, I suppose. There we go, I've been very slowly working on this, and I've also been gathering a load of materials because I just didn't have a lot of equipment or furniture for this island, and it's been a bit of a pain. So I've been on my all sheep island Utopia that I still have on my Switch, and I've just been on a bit of a spree. I need to get rid of that. So I want this to obviously go on the back, but I've got to give myself enough space to actually push it in, so I'm going to put these two ones on the side first and then do the middle. And this was a real pain, just doing this bit on the top, when I first was trying to build it and make it all work and everything. So I gave myself loads of room, and it looks like it's actually gone in relatively easy this time around, so that's good. And then I got rid of my ladder because, you know, why not? Right, I'm just going to do a quick jump cut. I'm going to knock all this excess cliff out of the way, put the sand in the back like it should be, and then I'll see you at the front and we'll get the rest of this saloon design done. Okay, so that's done, so let's move on to the front now. So I must say, I found pretty much this saloon design on Reddit, and I loved it so much. I was really struggling with a design to get the saloon done, And yeah, I saw this and knew I had to do it. So massive shout out to that creator. I will make sure that I put it on screen, just because, you know, they deserve the credit. They've done all the hard work of making everything look good. They also put all the codes into their Reddit post as well, which made everything super easy, which meant I could get this amazing looking saloon and the windows and the doors as well. Actually, I think everything literally came from that post, and yeah, I'm super grateful. It's super helpful. It's a cute design. It really works with the theme I'm going for as well. So just, yeah, chef's kiss. Mwah, absolutely fantastic. I have tried to change it ever so slightly, just so that it's like not entirely 100% copied. But yeah, credit where credit's due. It's amazing, and it's definitely basically a straight up copy with the odd change in design. But yeah. But I think it really, really suits, especially with obviously these buildings that I've done previously. I've used so many storefronts, and I've had to gather like 40, 50 more storefronts from my sheep island. So that's been a lot of shopping trips and going back and forth to Happy Home Design, or Happy Home Paradise I should say, and then buying all of those with the pokey as well. So yeah, it's been fun. Just gathering all this furniture and things. But I do now have an excess of wheat fields, storefronts, retro bus stops, or transportation stops, whatever they're called, and cactuses are also on the way. So that's good, because, you know, gathering materials and furniture and all that jazz is, yeah, a bit of a chore. It definitely adds a lot of time to just the building process. Right, I want this forward just a little bit, so obviously it fits kind of more central. Cool. I'm going a little bit off script, so let's obviously go with my furniture items in order. So I'm sure anyone that obviously watches my videos will know this, but I do try and put all the furniture items in a rough order so that it's very easy for me to put down. So yeah, if you're obviously new to my videos, that's how I generally make my builds work. I'll do all the planning, I'll do the builds off camera, I will then completely tear everything down once I've taken reference photos, and I am working off of reference photos that I've taken previously. I've got my phone literally sat in front of me, and that's what I'm doing. It's all good. I'm almost done. I do have a little bit of set dressing to do just around the front here, so I do need to gather a few more items, but I'll do that in 2 seconds. So we've obviously got a wooden box and decorative bottles, so the barrel's going to live there, the box is going to live in front of that, kind of like here, and obviously decorative bottles because it makes it look like there's been some drinking going on, especially with this being a saloon. But that is the general gist of the saloon now. So I'm just going to gather those few little bits and obviously finish off this front bit, and then we'll add to this cliff area and this path, the big looping path around. I do actually have the shop, the Nooks Cranny moving kit, so let's plonk that here, shall we, while we've got the chance. I'll just try and get in the position that I actually want it to be, because if I can avoid it, I would like to try and leave that rock how it is, so I'm just going to imagine it. Okay, that gets rid of the rock, so we're going to have to move it just a little bit. Okay, so this is the spot. So this is a continuation of the kind of nice part of the town. So there's plenty of homes and things. You've got weirdo cowboy bears exercising in wheat. So yeah, the saloon's going to be part of this town, or this part of the town, with the store. Everything's going to be good, everything's going to be cool. And then obviously as you get further on the island, you go this way, or you go like a little bit further left, it'll start to become this dishevelled ghost town where people have obviously just left buildings to rot, and all the mining's kind of got pretty bad and everything. But anyway, I'm going to gather some more furniture and things, and we'll carry on with this build. So jump cut, see you in a second. Okay, so we are back. I haven't filled my inventory entirely, but yeah, I've got enough to finish off this little bit in front of the saloon, and I'm going to be working on this cliff and just a little bit of set dressing, like I said. I've got a few items, so I've got the decay tree, which I love. I need more of them, but I can obviously make those. They are a DIY recipe, not something you have to get from like treasure islands or anything like that. That's been the biggest pain for me, I think, is the items, things like termite mounds. You can only get them very specifically from one event, so it's the bug off, and it's one of those awkward prizes, so you'd have to do the bug off constantly and just hope that you get the lucky roll that you then get that termite mound, or you need to go to treasure islands, and the ones I love using generally have 3 or 4 of a particular item, so you can only get 3 or 4 at one time, which, you know, I understand this is a service that they're providing and I'm just getting free items, but I need more. It doesn't really help if I need to you know, go and get 3 at a time, and then I go to essentially the same island, or just a different island that provides them, and then I have to gather another 3, and then I just rinse and repeat. That's a long old process. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on to this upper cliff here, and I do want little hints of, you know, this town kind of being a little bit of a mess, so that's kind of where this cliff comes in. And, you know, previous cliffs when you've seen it in the entrance as well. Will that connect if I do this? Yes, cool. You can see Billy thinking in the corner there, so up on the screen. That's a shame, because I like Billy and he's not leaving, so I'm not going to talk to him at all. Unless he wants to be like, oh, hang out with me because I had a weird dream, because they do that sometimes. But yeah, obviously we're building, so let's not get distracted. Billy was one of those villagers that I just wasn't really sure about when I first got him. He was a starter on this island, but yeah, the more people mentioned it, the more I was convinced that actually he does fit in, and his catchphrase does work. It's just like dag nabbit, so that's very kind of prospectory. Obviously put down a wheat field next to our cactus and everything's looking good. I know this doesn't really make sense as far as the kind of timeline, but I love the tyres creating that kind of mess look, and yeah, really giving that dishevelled feeling, like there's just trash thrown about the place. Like, this isn't going to be entirely ye olde timey kind of western town. There are going to be a few furniture items that do not make sense. Like, every now and again there's going to be a bit of equipment, like maybe a jackhammer, something like that. But yeah, it's all going to work in the end, like, I promise. Billy, what you should do is get out of the area that I'm building in. Stop trying to distract all the beautiful peoples, myself included. We ain't got time for that. So, I'm going to push that back up, just kind of cover some of that green space that we have obviously there. What's the next item? Is a milk can, so we are finished on the top here, and we're just going to add various bits around. So I'm going to just narrow this path a little bit. And I love any of the rusty items, they work fantastic for a set like this. So obviously the corrugated fence, the oil barrels, and this milk can, just good stuff. I've got a wheat field next, so I want to try and get it in the right place. And I do have one of those lovely termite mounds that I just mentioned that is so difficult to come by. And again, we're just kind of trying to cover up a little bit of the green spaces where you can't paint it on the floor, because, you know, obviously these diagonal cliffs, they don't allow you to give these little triangles, so it's a little bit of a pain. But there you go, obviously limitations of the game and things like that. I understand. can't have everything that you want always, otherwise, yeah, it'll never be special, right? I want that a little bit forward, and then just a little bit to the left. Or do I? No, I kind of like that, actually. Let's just plonk the flower, the yellow mum I've got here. I've then got the retro transportation stop, which I think I've got to put down here so I can then push it into place. Cool, because I want it to look more shed-like as opposed to an actual bus stop. I've got a few little items, so hay bed, again, just trying to cover up that little bit of green. And then we have a brick well and a wheat field, which brick well's going to live kind of around here on this little nub sand. I don't know what you would call it, but yeah, this little loop, I think a brick well kind of makes sense here. Again, it's kind of close to the saloon, it's kind of close to the nice part of town. And then we just got this little wheat field, which I want a little bit more central to the well. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, so here is obviously our little cliff as you come close to the saloon. All looking good, all looking fabulous. And now I'm just going to gather some more materials and furniture and things, and we're going to work around here. And then once I've done that, I will obviously skip forward so that the Nooks Cranny is in place. And yeah, let's get this done. Okay, and we are back for the final stretch, and annoyingly, my shuffle broke just as I picked up the very last item, so yeah, that was fun. But there you go. These things are always going to happen, and you know, sod's law that it's the very last item. Yeah, it's all good, really. I built myself, obviously, a flimsy shovel. Now, there are a few items that I haven't managed to put in order. I kind of forgot as I was taking everything down, and yeah, I've just had to then gather everything up and kind of throw it all down. But we're going to be now trying to work in a order. So we've got this fence here, and I love mixing up the corrugated fence, so I'm going to plonk this here, and then we're going to throw a rusty panel right in the middle. And I do plan on moving, obviously, all the various buildings here. I've got the museum, I've got a load of homes. Obviously, the Nooks Cranny will move from here to this space here, so it's not really that big of a move. Certainly not for them. But yeah, the buildings will not stay there. I just needed a space where, obviously, I can then work on the actual, you know, the island itself without getting buildings in the way. Right. Cool. I wanted the wheat field in a very specific place because I have a load of covered wagons. And I'm hoping these are the right way. They are. Cool. Because I want them to look a very specific, face a very specific direction. And it's a bit of a pain because obviously these are kind of on the larger side. So yeah, I don't want to have to rotate them. We're just going to push this back. This is almost like a little wagon parking area. And then we're going to set up our little tent space. There's going to be plenty of these little, I guess, resting spots dotted around. So it feels like, you know, it's quite lived in. Just want to make it seem kind of friendly and that people actually do use these spaces and things like that. Obviously, like I said, as far as the rest of the island goes, once you start moving kind of more north or yeah, perhaps left, it's going to start getting a lot more dishevelled and feeling run down and just abandoned. But yeah, we'll get to that part when we get there. So I then want a candle kind of in front of the kids' tent. So that's a lot of fire next to a lot of fabric and wood, so I would not recommend it in real life, but you know, obviously this is a game, those kind of things don't happen, so it's fine. Bush in the corner, and a really silly thing, I didn't actually know the bushes could go on the sand. Like, it doesn't go on the beach, and so I just naturally assumed that they couldn't go on the sand, but if you paint the sand design down using, you know, the this tool, the Island Designer tool, then bushes go down fine. Which I feel like I did know that at some point, but yeah, it's been so long since I've kind of painted a big portion of sand that I just kind of forget these things. You know, it's what can I say? I tend to have quite natural spaces. They tend to be very green. The path I use the most is definitely the dark dirt path, because I think that just looks really good under like flower beds and things like that. Anyway, I am kind of rambling on a little bit, so just dotting various bits of furniture around now. So we've got plenty of wheat fields. Cool. We're going to move over to the left hand side and just add to that. So we've got a termite mound. That's going to live right here next to this barrel, because I think it makes sense. So that's a wheat field. That's not it's not what I wanted. Where is it? There we go. Also makes sense as to why there's this gap in the fence. So the termites have obviously been eating away at that fence, and all is good. Yum yum yum. I'm not sure what I wanted to do with this random wheat field that I've got at the top now, but that's fine. We'll sort that out. I've got this oil barrel because that's going to live on top of this snake. Not entirely. There we go. So he's just kind of peeking out from the barrel. I'm going to have quite a few of these snake codes. So we've obviously got this happy little chappy, and we've got this one from the previous episode, and they look amazing. I love them so much. I love covering them up slightly as well, so it looks like they're just kind of trying their luck and seeing if they can, yeah, catch a little bit of prey. So Petrie should also be pretty careful, because, you know, snakes and mice generally don't mix well. Okay, that's looking a lot better in this little section. I want it quite sparse in this kind of path. I don't want it to be too busy. And then I definitely found it difficult to build around this section, because until I put the actual shop down, I didn't know how much like space I was trying to deal with. But I'm going to actually take that away. I'm going to add the little bit of fence just on the front here. And I love this log fencing. I think it looks amazing, especially if you're using it as a kind of horse hitching post. So that's what we're going to be doing. Using these springy ride-ons because they're cute and they work with the aesthetic. But yeah, when the shop wasn't down, it's really difficult to know just what you're doing with various items and things, and the space you can use. You don't want to put it all down and then put the shop down, because if it's too close, it will just get rid of the items. But obviously you'll have them still in your inventory, things like it just pops back. So it's not the biggest deal, but yeah, it's a little bit of a pain when you don't have, I guess, the space awareness. You just don't know what you're working with. Anyway, there's enough rambling about that. I've got a couple of weeds, so let's just plant some here. I'll have to go around and obviously make sure that the weeds are then surrounded by the invisible tile like I did previously. And then I just have a few various random bits of items that I guess I'm just going to dot around at the front of the store here, or to the side of things. So let's see what we've got. Obviously there's definitely a wheat field because I wanted that somewhere and I'm not really sure where, so let's just throw that right in the middle. There's a big space here actually where big bit of path, and I want the wheat fields to kind of look like they're popping out from the path, and yeah, nothing can stop the wheat fields. They're like the weedy pest of this island, like every other island I've ever had. It's just such a good item, isn't it? I love them so much. I guess we're going to throw another random oil barrel here to the side of the shop, if I can actually get my position correct. Cool. And we'll throw a termite mound just in front of it as well. Perfect. and then we'll hit it with my shovel for good measure. I like rotating the termite mounds, even though, you know, they're very similar in like shape, but it just gives a little bit of difference. Obviously you can see there's a slight bit of difference with the pattern and the shape there, so all good. What else have I got? Okay, more bottles would make sense kind of close to the saloon, so we're going to throw the stacked bottle crates just in front, more bottles on top, the brown coloured bottles as well, perfect. Not sure about this, hay bed, tyre stack, grass standee and trash bags. So grass standee can go here. I like the grass standees. They, just a nice little splash of, I guess, quote unquote grass. It's a nice little shape where you've got like not a lot going on. So obviously there's plenty of desert, plenty of path. But yeah, here's a furniture item, so you know that they can't spread, unlike the weeds, which can be a real pain later on. Tyre stack, let's put that, I guess towards the front of the store. Again, even though this is the nice part of the island, I still want it to feel, you know, a little bit run down. Like there's hints of what this main part of the island is going to be. So there's going to be a little bit of trash kind of dotted around here, there and everywhere. And what is the last item? It's a hay bed. So that would definitely make sense that it would be around here next to the horses. It's just a matter of placing it down where it does actually make sense. So let's try here. I'll push that back. Cool. I think that works. Billy's checking out the goods, so yeah, checking out all my handiwork. I think he's impressed. So we're going to skip forward a day now, so the Nooks Cranny is now in its brand new permanent place, and just have a look around and see everything in its glory. So see you in a second. And so I've skipped forward to the next morning, and it's definitely a lot nicer. There's a lot less mist. Cody wants to talk to me, so he's giving me a reaction. Cool. Let's see what it is. Oh, great. Thanks. Like, I've just about recovered from my cold. I don't need this, Cody. What's wrong with you? Come on. While I was actually playing and getting the whole saloon build sorted, I did have Billy give me a reaction, and he was doing this like shouting reaction, but he was doing it right in my face. Like really getting up in there. So yeah, that was fun. I had to record that because just how ridiculous it looked. But yeah, here we obviously have our path leading up to the Nooks Cranny. This will lead to the beach, our little caravan-esque park with all the covered wagons, a little rest spot. I do need to put a few things here, but I'll do that off camera because until the actual shop was down, I didn't really know what to do with it. Obviously, you know. It's a shame you can't just paint this little bit, because I would love to have that all sand, but there we go. We work with the limitations we have. And then obviously you come around here and we have the saloon in all its glory. Fantastic, and Gabby will be the owner of the saloon when we eventually find her. So she'll have her house plonked kind of nearby. And then obviously we've got this little cliff area that leads up to the rest of the nice part of the entrance. And all is good. I was told there is a villager in the campsite, so I'm going to quickly check who that is, and I guess we'll finish there. So 3, 2, 1, who do we think we'll get? Let's find out. Let's just avoid that balloon as well. We have Wart Jr., so he would actually kind of work on this island. I think he would work in a very dusty and just horrible environment. But yeah, I can't say that I'm going to try and invite him right away. He's definitely on a settle list as opposed to someone like Gabby or Tiffany that I definitely want for the island. So yeah, nice to see you, Wart Jr., but yeah. And so with that being that, I'm going to call today's episode here. So thank you so much for watching if you made it this far into the video. If you enjoyed, please hit like and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. As for my next few videos, I'm going to be definitely doing a GameCube Animal Crossing video, and we'll still be working on the various designs of this island as well, so hopefully we'll have another build video up soon. So yeah, hopefully you'll join me for those. But until then, I want to say a massive thank you, hope to see you in the next video, and until the next time, have a good one. Cheers guys.